You know what they say, if they send me an email with a link to a Mythic Plus 2, in turn, I will follow that up by doing a review. Maybe I need to shorten it a bit, but that is what we are going to do here today because we got another banger coming at you here, man. Twos really are the gift that keeps on giving, but hold on, wait, before we start the actual review and the content, plus 20 resilient motherload listed in the group finder. Is that real? Are people actually pugging 20s at this point in the season? That's pretty nuts. I've never really taken a look at like the applicants that you get when you do it too. I hadn't realized like how many people are signing up to these keys with like no keys done or like 0 gear. Like look at that, 615. So I think it's just like a exercise in like how much gear can you actually get out of these players. That guy's 635. So honestly, not much better. Still worse than the maximum item level from season 1, but we are going to take a gamble on these guys here. We have also a healer with 0 score. A lot of people with 0 score signing up here. Most of the people who sign up have 0 score. And we're also going to take this rogue who's 636 with 0 score. And then we actually get a tank who is like a real player. This guy is like good. 666. So he's over geared for an 8. 1515 scored. 2 numbers repeating. That's pretty fun. Now this is also framed to tell me that this is like a late night key, quote unquote. The start of the recording is at 11:49. So it's not like super late night. Like not like those ones Cop was doing back at like 3 a.m. with crazy stuff going on. But maybe that's in play here. You never know. So anyway, as you see, we are doing Cinder Brew Meadery, which is in the same zone as the major city of the expansion. As we're waiting for everybody to get here, we already have one guy offline. That was the Demon Hunter, the first person we invited. The rogue says, which dungeon was it again? And we said Meadery. And then we correct ourselves and say Meadery. So we're pondering whether or not we're going to have to remove this Demon Hunter who's now offline. He's been offline for like a few minutes now at this point. Perhaps maybe because the guy's offline, or perhaps because it's Meadery. That tank's going to actually leave for no real reason, and then that makes the decision to kick the Demon Hunter. Very obvious. So let's find some more people. Whoa, we actually have Vol'jin sign up. That's pretty nuts. 597, 0 rating. That would have been a great guy to invite. So we have a Paladin, 292. So we know that's like basically like 1 key. 629 item level, named the Horde. He's going to come. Now the long, lonely wait for a tank. We have to fast forward here a long time here. 5 seconds ahead every time, and there's not a single guy sign up until that guy. We got this guy is our tank. Drig, 637, 0 score. All right, he's doing his first key of the season, it seems, on this character, and we're going to give him a shot. So here is our ragtag team of heroes heading over to take on the mean old Cinder Brew Meadery. Listen to the fanciful music while we do so. One of my favorite dungeons ever. I love the theme. We've talked about this a lot, and honestly, one of the major reasons I'm reviewing this right now is because I know someday soon we will not be able to see it again in Mythic Plus. The Paladin, who did just join to be fair, but he says, hey, please summon to the dungeon that's in the same zone as the major city. We don't hover over him or go on any explorative map reading quests to see where he's at, but unfortunately you see here we do actually summon him. So this is a totally different video than it could have been. I love it when people don't summon each other, man. Kind of wacky that you need to summon to Cinder Brew Meadery. And after a minute or so, we are going to start the dungeon. First thing I checked on the review was, is this guy Og? He's Devastation, so we can do the review. Otherwise, if it was Og, you're getting banned. We've done a lot of reviews of Cinder Brew Meadery where in the first pull of the dungeon, the tank pops like a balloon. Some other shenanigans go on. People are AFK. Like, who knows? We've seen it all at this point, and we're not going to see that today. It's actually shocking. All the stuff we've seen in Cinder Brew is not going to come up here today. Instead, we have some funny conversations go on between some of these guys. We have the Horde, the Rep Pally in the group ask the Rogue in the group, is Rogue good for Mythic Plus? Like, what the hell kind of question is that? All right, so he says, let's find out. Yeah, that's what we're going to do here today. Well, 2 people lose to the tank on the first pull. The Rogue does half the damage of the Evoker, so I think we found out. Not good for Mythic Plus or something. I don't know. Not sure what the point of the question was. What was the answer you were hoping to hear? Imagine if he's like, no, it's not very good for Mythic Plus. Would that guy leave? Conversations continue. This time, the Shaman with like, what is that, like a German name or something like that? That guy needs mana. I need mana. Well, you're at like 20-some%, maybe like 30% mana, so I'm not sure I would say that, but I think he's kind of panicking a bit because he doesn't seem to have food. He says, does anyone have food? Now, I didn't actually know this existed or works in Mythic Plus, I guess, but they added a thing that you can like have food without having to buy food. I think it's only for actual food though, right? Is that correct? I don't think it restores mana. The Rogue says, use the new ability, Recuperate, which is formerly a Rogue thing, but I guess that's actually what it's called. And I don't think it works for mana though. I think one way or the other. The guy's asking for mana. He is saying, I need food, but I think what he means obviously is he needs mana food. I guess we're unsatisfied with how the conversation has gone because he then says, or I could always pee in your mouth. Right, yeah, sounds good. Is that going to restore mana? I've never tried. The Shaman says, wow, wow, that escalated fast. Have you guys seen a stranger comment? Vote now, seriously, like vote now. What do you think the strangest comment we've seen in Mythic Plus this season was? That Demon Hunter who was just like pulling small, then saying push and all that stuff, that was strange, but like in a vacuum, it's not that strange of a comment. I think that right there is the strangest one line I've ever seen in a Mythic Plus text chat. But in terms of content of the actual Mythic Plus dungeon, there's not much to look at. A very small few mistakes here, like the Paladin like almost dies, the Rogue almost dies, but it's like a 2, you know what I mean? It's like just doesn't matter. Like we're in no danger here. Seen absolutely no shortage of examples of that. Like look at even everybody just like struggling to be above 50% health for the whole fight, and it just doesn't matter. Now at this point, some things do develop. We can take a look at the mini map here, and we're going to see the shaman stop moving. He's trying to use the recuperate spell. I don't think it's restoring mana, if so, because his mana is not going up at all, it looks like. So this tank again has pulled without a healer. We just saw this a couple of keys ago as well, but yeah, I think in it too, it's actually probably fine. We're not kicking any of the spells though. Boiling Flames, we probably are going to want to stop those casts. People are actually quite low, but the shaman does come eventually. He's barely gained any mana, so I really don't know what he was doing. But again, you see just how ridiculous it is. Like just did the whole pack without a healer basically, didn't kick a single spell, and nobody died. And nobody died who was like 630, right? Like I mean, I think everybody in this group was like under 650, right? All right, so we get a little bit more weird interactions occurring here. We have the shaman start pinging. We see pinging in the room behind us. He says pull here, and he's just sitting there presumably waiting for him to do it, and he's not going to do it. Like you see, he's like not even healing. He's just sitting there waiting for him to do it. The pack's under half health already. You don't need to do that. We also have the patrol again in play here. Just going to come in here and again throw a little jab. You see a little jab at the paladin. He's actually wearing armor, so this just doesn't matter. It's actually insane how easy it. I mean, how many times do I got to bring it up? Let's just move on. We do have another comment made here. I have no idea what the hell this is supposed to mean. The prop pally says 1/2 and then puts like 9 dots or something. You know me, we'd count dots here. So no shenanigans. Like I said, no content shenanigans. At least we're going to fight IPA, a famously interesting boss from the low-key perspective. Tank opens the pull by saying bloodlust, please. We do that. It's famous because the tank has to actually move the boss from the brew drops, and people actually have to kill them, which we saw did not happen the last time we reviewed this key. This time we are doing it like it's a joke, like joke mode, absolutely joke mode. And for some reason, the paladin is not satisfied with it being done. Let's just like actually watch this set die again. Like it's ridiculous how fast they die. I'm wondering if maybe because the rep pally is auto attacking the boss, this is what causes him to react this way. As we see, the rep pally is not contributing to it at all, even though the rogue is out there meleeing them. I'll tell you this, you definitely do not need all 3 people contributing to them. But he says add all caps, and the shaman says relax bro, and his response to relax bro is no. Oh, okay, this is gonna get interesting quick. I think we have the next set come out, and there's one in a pretty awkward position, but he's just gonna go kiting around the entire globe here, like literally taking him out of the dungeon and back into the dungeon. It looks like running around in circles here, but they never really get far enough away. We just kill them. Like I said, it's a joke, absolute joke. They always spawn with reference to where the boss is facing when he does this mechanic, which is really interesting. And then there's the ones that respawn, so like it gets a little bit harder, but you'll see it's like a triangle. There's 2 behind him at like kind of 90-degree angles, and then there's one directly in front of him. So what I always do is I always try to make sure at least one spawns on top of the group of the other ones that have respawned, and then you just kind of move around the other 2, and that's usually how the fight goes. Has no bearing on anything here because they are destroying this fight without any issue whatsoever. Even the DPS of the group quite weak, but Evoker carrying this group, doubling the damage of the other players basically, and we're still in no way stressed out about that. So we are gonna have our first death of the dungeon. It is one that you probably would never predict would cause an issue, and things are gonna go downhill insanely quick. I'm really shocked at this. You might see the problem here. The tank is getting the stacking debuff, and it is not getting dispelled. Are we in another group where the healer doesn't know they have a dispel? I'm not sure, but it's not being used, and this tank, even though it is such a joke mode key, is ultimately gonna die with 21. I don't know, he's surviving it for now. Yeah, gonna go down with 21 stacks. Final sting coming out as well. Simply one death, first death of the dungeon, to 21 stacks. Okay, now the shaman, who did not dispel the tank, says wait, and then says okay, says go, 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 while the tank is running back. What the hell is he talking about? I think he was saying like, wait, I need to get mana or something like that. Watch this play out again. The tank is dead. He releases. Shaman clearly has no idea. He says wait, and then a few seconds later, he says okay. He's eating, I guess he's like doing that mechanic there. And then he says go, go, as the tank is still running back, which probably makes the tank kind of unhappy because he's going to reply, you have dispel, right? use it, ... Then our very strange rogue says Dispellianus, like a Harry Potter thing. All right, sounds good. All right, we're going to continue in the dungeon for now. It's a tough situation because if you actually don't know what you're doing, you should probably try to figure it out. But sometimes asking about it is only going to make it worse. So this guy says, what do I need to dispel? I can't see it. Meanwhile, we are using the Blizzard default frames and you can see it as a non-healer. Not good. Not what you want to hear, but I guess if the guy needs help, it might be a good idea to ask for it. Unfortunately, we do like the tank ego thing where we know the guy is not going to dispel us and we just pull in a way that we can't survive without dispel again. The rogue is telling him to just dispel the tank, which honestly, if he just used it periodically on the tank, we would have survived the pack. But the tank, now unhappy with this, says brain dead. And the shaman replies, he says idiot, and then leaves the party. If you know the guy's not going to dispel, maybe be a little bit more cautious. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you can survive that without the dispel. Going to ultimately break up the group. Brain dead into idiots into disband. But we're not done. Look, there's 32 minutes gone in the footage. There's 4 more minutes. Oh, let's keep going. The tank says me, question mark? I mean, yeah, I think that's who he was talking to. Rep Pally says, come on guys, he is best. I don't know what that means. Here's the rogue. He is entering into his final form. He says, this is what happens when people need to apply attitude. Autism rage. I'm talking to you, Drig. The way you speak to people is what makes me want to beat the shit out of you in person. Like, I want to punch you in the face for your attitude. The Paladin is now asking, is this my fault? The Paladin DPS is like, guys, it's his key. Tank says he plays a healer and doesn't have food and doesn't have any idea. Paladin DPS says, why are we doing his key for him though? I don't think we are. I was just sitting here talking, which is a good thing. Rogue says, it's a low key. People are noobs. He's learning the game and he figured out he could use the new ability. It's true, actually. He did learn about that. That's very interesting. The Rep Pally says, some days we have fault. I don't know what that means. The Rogue says he asked what to dispel. Nobody answered the question. It's true, actually. He's overwhelmed trying to figure out what to dispel while healing, and he's new to it. Really crazy, well-explained situation here from a guy's asking if somebody else wants to drink his urine. Meanwhile, the Rep Pally's like, can we just keep going? And the person who submits this says, well, it's going to be a mess without a healer. I honestly don't know it would be if everybody actually was just here and trying, but the Rogue's also gone. The Paladin Tank says he has too many add-ons or something. I don't have too many add-ons and WoW UI. I don't know what that means. Then the Rogue asks him how old he is. And then the Rogue says, I'm not asking your age to insult you about it, which tells you the guy's probably pretty young because he expects to be insulted by it. I don't know. When people ask me that question, I just answer them honestly. I'm 16. Like, what's the difference? People these days sit at screens 24/7 and don't develop social skills, then instantly leaves after he types that out. Yeah, I mean, I guess he's not wrong. It's actually kind of crazy because I would have said that that dude was like off his rocker at the beginning of the dungeon, and now I'm like sitting here kind of agreeing with him. That is it. Our tank friend is casting the Hearthstone spell. Didn't even have to bubble for this one. He's gonna leave. Rep Pally says, sorry, man. Look at this. He says, fuck all of them. Like, he's just really just wants to finish the key, man. He doesn't care about all this drama. So yeah, very interesting one. Very interesting chat. Again, in the key with no real mistakes. If the tank just, I don't even know what to say about this. Yes, should the healer dispel him? Obviously, but he didn't. We just proved you could make like every possible error in the dungeon and still kill everything without a healer. So I don't know, maybe just survive it. Maybe just figure out a way to not need a dispel. I don't know. Crazy that we have to say here, the rogue is actually the guy who made the most sense in the key. And it was after the dungeon was over. And this is why I worry about low keys at the start of next season, because I feel like this was, by the way, just a couple days ago. Like, this is like hours ago at this point of me recording this. There's a lot of people out there who simply are not learning. And even though we are going to sit here and try to defend the shaman, it's definitely kind of concerning that he does not see a dispel. Like, what the fuck are you doing with your frames or your UI that are not telling you there's a magic dispel on the tank? Like, that's not optional. That is not optional. Now, we've seen it all this season, man, but if you guys are still out there running Mythic Plus 2s, please send them to me, man. There's so much wacky, crazy moments. If you guys run into anything that you think is review worthy, please send it in. But again, thank you guys for all submitting. If any of you actually submitted one and you're like, oh man, I really wish you would have reviewed it, just bump it up or send me another email or something. Let me know. We'll see. We're trying to hit it hard. And then we still have the end of season disband review from all the keys from my stream as well to come. Season 2 was great to us. Thank you guys so much for contributing to it. And thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys in the next video.